everybody. Thank you for watching The Naturalist Capitalist. And yes, I was just here like 30 minutes ago, but I'm back because that's how I roll. And we've got the third installment of Fight Night. So we've got, of course, David Fite back on the show for the 30 millionth time. How's it going, David?
It's going amazing. Fight Night is back, and I'm ecstatic.
And we have the ever elusive William Fite back on the show as well. How's it been, William? It's been a while.
It has. It's been a month. It's been a long month. But overall, it's been good. I've been beating my head against the wall because of the Indiana State Legislature. It's been a lot of fun.
So are you winning the battle overall, or is it losing battles?
We will find out Friday.
Ooh.
We will find out Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, the Senate's being difficult. So
at least you're not in Texas.
Yeah.
You could have been part of losing that battle and war.
Well, which battle are you referring to?
The constitutional carry bill in Texas that just died.
Didn't hear that.
I don't think it died.
Well, it got voted down, right?
I don't know. They have like 8. They have like 8 constitutional carry bills.
Okay. Well, I only know half of what I'm talking about, so.
At least I thought I was
that
listening
obvious
correctly. I thought I was listening correctly on our call we had the other day, but I know they had a committee hearing for that constitutional carry bill till like 3:30 in the morning. But
that's kind of gross.
I could be wrong. I haven't been paying attention to Texas at all.
Why would you? I mean, Texas kind of fucking sucks.
I mean, my counterparts down in Texas, I give them shit all the time because Oklahoma is more freedom-loving than Texas is, and it really makes them mad. So I just like to bring that up.
Well, everything's bigger in Texas unless you're in Alaska. So, you gotta point that out. Yeah.
Speaking of Oklahoma, I actually, since the last time we had a fight night, I had 2 gentlemen on my show twice now from Oklahoma, but the first time I had them on, they specifically shouted you out, Will,
really?
As a champion of liberty from Oklahoma.
Wow, I'm actually disappointed I missed that.
Yeah, we had Mr. Rex Lawhorn and Kevin Hobby, the 2 chair candidates.
Yeah, I saw you had them on today.
Yeah, we had him back on today. But when I had him on about 3 weeks ago, they named off like 3 or 4 people, like ex-members of the OKLP that were out doing stuff, and you were specifically one of them.
Yeah, I was technically the secretary for the Central Oklahoma LP for like 3 months, and then I went to Kentucky, and then I got back from Kentucky after Election Day, and was basically, hey guys, I'm moving to Indiana. Sorry.
Nice.
But I'm still technically registered as a libertarian, so in Oklahoma. So I could have been there last weekend at their convention, but I ultimately
could have made it not a tie.
Ooh, it's true. Who would you have chosen? Who would you have gone with?
I probably would have gone with Kevin, even though he's a former socialist, which is like everyone probably would have assumed I would have gone the exact opposite way. But I like Kevin. Kevin and I kind of were before he originally left the OKLP, then he came back because he thought he wasn't coming back to Oklahoma for a long time. And when he left, like before he left that time, we were starting to get closer because he was VP for Central Oklahoma LP, our vice chair. So trying to have a good working relationship, and then he ended up not moving and coming back while I was there, and then he ends up coming back and I leave. So funny how that works. But I would have gone with Kevin. I think he's got a good message of the whole unity message. I think it can work in Oklahoma well. There's not a lot of ideological infighting in Oklahoma. It's pretty. Even if you're a left libertarian, right libertarian, you're pretty much you're all the kind of the same down in Oklahoma. No one really cares about those differences because we all know at the end of the day none of them are libertarian socialists. You would not even have a chance as a libertarian socialist in Oklahoma. I'm sure they're there. I just never had a chance to meet them.
It's fair. What was great about them coming on the show today was that they made an open challenge to Angela McArdle and Joseph Bishop Henchman to run their chair race the same way that Kevin and Rex ran their chair race.
Really?
I'm excited to see what Angela and Joseph do about that.
So they're basically going to follow the Joe Biden, Donald Trump template, is what you're saying? Or
Exactly that. Exactly that.
Anyway, we're here tonight to talk about vaccine passports because that's sort of a thing, apparently. So, David, it's happening in your home state first and foremost, it sounds like. So do you know any more specific details than we do? All I know is that it's a mandatory database that companies that want to remain open would have to use in order to allow customers to come into their place or whatever and see if they're vaccinated. But do you know anything beyond that, or is any of that incorrect?
I have no idea. I know what you just said. I don't know anything past that. But what I do know is that there is no fucking way that I will ever get vaccinated. There is no fucking way that I will ever participate in a vaccine passport program. And there is no way that I will ever do business with a company that requires a vaccine passport at the door at any point in time. I mean, for the rest of their existence. I don't give a fuck if they do this for like 6 months and then it's all over and we all go back to normal, right? No, I will remember this shit. I will never go to your store ever, ever, ever again.
Yeah, I mean, I think this goes beyond the vaccine. Like I was, there is some sketchy stuff with the vaccine, mostly just how rushed it's been, and not that I like the FDA, but it's not even FDA approved, and there's liability shielding in all cases. It sounds like it's pretty hard to sue if anything bad happens after your dosage. That's kind of sketchy, but I wasn't even really that worried about the vaccine, but I'm not going to get it anymore just as a statement, because of what's happening. That's kind of where I am. But what are your thoughts, Will?
I'm in the same boat, really. I think it's complete bullshit. I literally, from a mind of especially over the last few months with what I'm doing here with gun stuff, where databases are always bad. No matter if the government have their fingers in a database, it's only as good as the data you get in, and government data usually is not very good. But at the end of the day, it's designed to pressure people into getting a vaccine because people are going to use peer pressure, and probably even worse than that. People are going to be ostracized if they don't get this vaccine. If you have a vaccine passport, you're going to have a second-class citizen type of situation. If major companies in air travel or bus travel, or you can't leave your state unless you have a vaccine passport, you're going to create a situation where people are just like treated absolutely terrible. Mm-hmm. And I will never I was never planning on getting the vaccine, definitely not getting it now. And I'm in the same boat where no matter if you get rid of the necessary passport part of your business, you're done for me. I don't care who you are. Like I will go to Kroger for the rest of my life if Walmart did it. Like, no, sorry, Walmart. I don't care how easy it is to go. I will pay the extra money at this other place and have to find other easy stuff somewhere else, because I will never go to your store ever again.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's an important distinction to make here too, because some people are just dumb and they don't know how things work. Like as far as international travel goes for vaccines, like that would be nothing new. I mean, there are tons of countries that if you want to travel to right now, you already have to get vaccines. Same with like schools, you have to get vaccines to go to certain public schools, to play on sports teams. Like that type of thing isn't new. What's new about this is it's like employment, going to restaurants, going to movie theaters, possibly going across state lines. I I haven't heard too much about the federal plan yet. I've just heard about New York's plan. But, I mean, if you have a vaccine passport that's tracking everywhere you go for commerce or consumption or whatever, it seems like it's going to be used to go over state lines at some point. And even if it's not, now they have this database that's literally tracking your every move because you're scanning a barcode every time you go into a building that requires the barcode for your entrance. So it's not like the government can't track you right now if they want to, but it's hard. Like, it is hard to trace down all your records and see where you've been. This streamlines everything, makes it extremely easy so that they're just following you on a map. I mean, they just see where you've been, what you've done. And once they have this database, what else can they use that database for? You think they're just going to stop once coronavirus goes away? That's it? Like, we're done? Okay, database will delete you now.
Yeah, of course.
No way. No way that happens. I mean, here's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, I hate to put my tinfoil hat on, we're 12 minutes in, but, digital wallet, they get rid of all actual physical currency. You only have, we'll just make this passport and we'll just turn it into a digital wallet where all your money goes into that, we give you your tax return that way. And then 20 years down the road, we're going to use your universal basic account. We're going to put that in there. But, if you don't get that passport, we're going to cut it off. You can't use your digital wallet. Or like what China's doing with their social credit. You have a social credit score. Oh, you don't have that vaccine? We're going to bump your social credit score. I mean, I hate to sound like Alex Jones so early, but it's like, it's a dangerous reality that could happen.
You don't even need to sound like Alex Jones or compare us to any other country here. All you have to do is compare this to a social security number. That was supposed to be a very a number for one purpose. There was one reason for getting a social security number, and that was so they could track your social security. You were never supposed to put that on anything. In fact, when they first came out, you were never supposed to put that number anywhere. No one was ever supposed to know your social security number. Now it is the number you use for literally fucking everything. I've put that into 1,000 forms this year, between filing for things, applying for jobs, literally everything. So we've already done that once with something as our country before we proved that the government is willing to do literally fuck all to keep us protected or safe or work for us in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, no, there's no conspiracy theory about this. This is clearly not going away ever. Literally never.
Yeah, when you have historical evidence to back up your concerns, is it really a conspiracy theory anymore? I mean, I'm going to butcher this, but the income tax was instated to pay for World War One, right? That was
Civil War.
World War One I think it was World War One.
World War One.
Yeah, and that
was lent out so much stuff. We needed money, so we introduced the income tax. Wait, and then when was income tax? Was that
1913 or 14? I forget.
Okay, exactly. So that's before World War One. That was
no, sorry, that was the Federal Reserve income tax. We need the guy Joe Rogan had up his shit.
Yeah.
I should know that. I guess the thing. I think it's. I don't know, but there were some wars around that area anyway before World War One. We had Spanish American, right around that time too.
Yeah, but the point was, it was supposed to be a temporary thing, not very temporary.
Well, yeah, because what are you going to do? If you're a government, you see, oh, I got new money that I don't usually have. I'm not just going to give that up.
No, I guess it was COVID, bro. It was 1913, so it was before World War One, but it was supposed to be a temporary thing, and obviously not very temporary. We're over 100 years later, and we still have it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, originally there was the Revenue Act of 1861 during the Civil War, which was deemed unconstitutional after the war was over, and
I
then
like
it
how
was
it's deemed
repassed.
unconstitutional when it's called the Revenue Act, but then when it's the income tax, it flies. So,
Yep. Well, it's kind of like the bump in ballot access threshold here in New York State. It was deemed unconstitutional, so then Cuomo put it in the emergency COVID relief budget. So then it was fine.
That's politics for you, man. They just. I had on that note, I had an idea with a buddy of mine who he ran for office in Kentucky, and he almost won, but who knows if he'll run again. But that's beside the point. The point is we came up with a bill idea that you throw into like a what's it called? Not a stimulus bill. One of the big bills, omnibus bill. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. Omnibus bill, and it lays out the guidelines for traffic safety officers that have to make sure people stop at stop signs. Say, we've got a lot. You can push the issue as we've had a lot of issues in our state of people running stop signs. We need to make sure people are stopping these stop signs. We need to put a traffic safety official at stop signs. And in the it'd be like an amendment to an omnibus bill. We would lay it out as you'd lay out how they're supposed to, what they're supposed to wear, the uniform code stuff, and then how they make sure people do it. And in that amendment, because you're not going to read the amendment out on the floor, you're just going to tell people what it is, and people are like, okay, that makes sense, we'll vote for it. But you make it optional for counties if they really want to do it or not. But the way the traffic safety official is described is a clown with a yellow vest, neon vest that construction workers wear, and a little horn that they honk. We came up with that idea. You can just screw with people. But that's the type of shit that people get put in omnibus bills all the time, and people don't realize the type of weird shit that are on the books and random legislation.
Yeah. The other legislation that comes to mind with, non-expiration dates is, actually a couple. The AUMF is one, and then the Patriot Act is another one. I mean, here we are 20 years later with both of them. And especially the AUMF, that one's been so distorted.
Mm-hmm.
To use that to justify what it's been used for lately is just like, the terms are being expanded pretty broadly to justify retaliation against Al Qaeda for 9/11. And then the Patriot Act. I mean, how many serious terrorist attacks have we had since 2001, and how many have actually been thwarted by the CIA or the NSA or the FBI or anybody by, tapping all of our phone calls, checking all our search history? It's been pretty fucking minimal.
I think the FBI.
Well, they knew about the Vegas shooter beforehand. They stopped that one from happening, right?
Oh yeah, they did stop that one, I guess. So.
You mean the one that we still have no motive of?
Yeah, that one.
And then they did know about a couple that they just didn't stop.
You mean like all of them?
Yeah, pretty much all of them.
You mean Pearl Harbor?
Ooh, we just went down the rabbit hole. But that's not much of a rabbit hole. I mean, that's
pretty much well known anymore.
Factual.
Fact. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but that, to be fair, that was before the Patriot Act.
That was before the Patriot Act.
Before the Patriot Act. That's fair.
See, if they had only had the Patriot Act, they would have definitely known about Pearl Harbor.
More so than they already did.
And then would have been able to still not stop it so that we would go to war, because why would you want to stop a terrorist attack when you could use it as a war belt?
Yeah, but we caught the Zimmerman telegraph without the Patriot Act. In World War I.
We didn't even catch it.
That was a fucking history lesson right there, man.
Oh,
the Zimmerman telegraph.
Yeah, I know my
British-
shit.
the British
Quiz,
are the ones
who
who
in the
got that, though.
comments
I'm just
knows what
throwing
the
that
fuck
out there.
that's about.
Just throwing it out there. The British caught that and
All right.
they gave it to us.
Sorry, my bad. But we
All right,
still,
I did dust off my history degree for like 5 seconds. Okay, I never get to use it.
didn't have the Patriot Act, and the British intercepted it and gave it to us. I guess.
Hear about this one though. We knew about the USS Lusitania. There were leaflets and posters put up all around before the ship left that said, "Do not get on this ship if you are American. There are German U-boats all over the waters. This ship could go down. There's a good chance it might." And we were like, "What? Oh, we told you guys not to shoot the ship. What are you guys doing? Oh, now we gotta just wartime, guys. Oh,
that was
kill
bullshit.
people."
That was all bullshit. I mean, that's so dumb. Like getting upset about your civilians dying in a war zone on a ship that they're not really supposed to board, or
that had actual weapons on it too. People always forget to say that. People are like, "Oh, you killed our civilians." Yeah, but we blew up the ammunitions you were shipping across the ocean too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like we were innocent in that scenario by any stretch of the imagination.
So do you think the Zimmerman Telegraph was we're getting way off of COVID passports here, but do you think the Zimmerman Telegraph was actually real, or do you think it was all propaganda to get us into the war?
I think it was real, but I think it's less severe as people think. People are like, "What? Oh my God, the Germans were trying to get Mexico to invade us? Oh God. No, in reality, it's more like, one, Mexico was completely destabilized at the time and had no shot of ever doing anything of like to the United States. We were already basically at war with Mexico. Like, I think it was Pershing. Pershing had Patton down there, if I recall correctly. He was like driving around in armored cars shooting Mexicans across the border. Like, it was a real thing that was going on. Like, we were using airplane tactics to bomb people. Like, Mexico wasn't doing shit, and I think the Germans were trying to it was a deterrent that went completely wrong. They knew we were going to find out about it. They were just like, okay, maybe they were like, if we make America think we got Mexico on our side, maybe they'll just leave us alone. And it was just like, America knew that Mexico was never going to do shit, and they basically already had one foot in the war anyway. So it was like, all right, you guys asked for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, by that point in the war, the German military was completely fucking inept anyway. Not military, the
Navy or
the diplomatic side of it all. They were just completely out of it anyway. But anyway, back to COVID, because we got into World War I history there.
That was a slight sidestep there. Sorry for all the new. I noticed we got a surge of viewers right now for some reason, but yeah, we are talking about COVID passports here. The World War I history branched off of going into permanent government programs that are not temporary at all. We were talking about the income tax and the Patriot Act and Social Security number uses and all that happy horse shit. But
wait. Spanish flu. There, full circle. We're back.
Oh, there we go. Was that easy?
Yeah.
So I watched Dave Smith's live stream he did on this, which was pretty good. And he made the point that it's not too late to stop this from happening right now. You know, we can still supply enough societal pressure to get this turned around. But the seemingly easy task of convincing people that this is tyrannical and stupid and bad probably isn't going to be that easy, because I've noticed like a lot of my friends, if you just bring this up at all, they instantly freak out at you. Like you still want grandma to die if you're not wearing 10 masks and staying 100 feet away and getting 4 injections of the vaccine. And I don't know, there's just detachment from statistics and reality. I mean, the cases are declining, immunity's going up, the vaccine is more readily available. There was just a clip today. I forget what doctor it was, but she was on CNN saying that the vaccine keeps you from carrying COVID. Like, you can't carry COVID with the vaccine, because that was something they were wondering about for a while. Like, they thought you could still carry it after you got the vaccine.
Yeah.
Saying that's not true now. So why do we need a giant apparatus all of a sudden if we're seemingly heading out of the trees with this?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
To me, it seems like a last-minute power grab. It seems like the federal government sees the states starting to lift their restrictions, and they see, we're running out of time to really capitalize on this. So what can we get as a last-minute prize out of this? And they're getting kind of lazy. Like, this is a pretty fucking blatantly obvious bad thing, but maybe they're just counting that the people are stupid enough to be like, oh, okay.
Well, and I hate to be an asshole about it, but it's
no, you don't.
Yeah, it's true. The CNN viewers of the world, the people that religiously watch CNN, they're going to buy into all this fear mongering, and that's kind of what they're capitalizing on. They know the social media aspect of it all, will buy into it all. They've got those, people working for them, but they are getting blatantly obvious. It's like the CDC woman who went on CNN, was it like 2 days ago, that said she's terrified of what's about to happen, and make sure you're still wearing your mask even if you're vaccinated, and keep distancing even if you're vaccinated. But you look at Texas, where they got rid of the mask mandate, and the numbers are steadily declining. And
unlike New York, where we still have a mask mandate and the numbers are steadily staying the same.
Yeah,
it's just they're starting to realize that they're losing a lot of control that they thought they had, and I think, it's just they're getting sloppy. They're getting really sloppy, and the only people who aren't going to see that are people who are in that camp anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some actual Twitter socialists who I would loathe most of the time be like agreeing with us. I was like, fair enough. Like, damn, I hate to agree with you people, but fair enough. You made a good point.
See, I have an issue I'll start over with that. You know how people say a red-pilled progressive is better than a blue-pilled libertarian? I actually disagree with that. I think a red-pilled progressive is better than a bitch-ass libertarian, which is the name we're coming up with for a certain subset of libertarians. I agree with that. Like, bitch-ass anybody, you're fucking useless. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, socialist, libertarian. If you're a bitch-ass, then you suck. Like, you're just in it for yourself and your own echo chamber or whatever. But, like, I still, with everything that's going on, I do watch Jimmy Dore a little bit still, and it's great seeing his rants against the corporatism and against the national security state and everything. But it's like, dude, you still want like massive government control over all these systems where the government is taking advantage of us right now. Like, so there's still like a massive level of blue pilling going on there, even though he's a red pilled progressive. Like, someone like John Stossel, who people would call a blue-pilled libertarian, is way more skeptical of the government having massive control over these systems right now. So it's just really hard for me to take any skeptical progressive who's upset about how the government is handling this seriously. It's just like, okay, I mean, like, you wanted this, you want the government running it. They're not doing it the way you want them to do it. But why do you think you would have control over how they run it once they have the control? Like, what other scenario, once the government takes control over something, do you have an input as to how it works? I mean, give me an example. So it's just like, I don't know. I can't really take those people very seriously right now, but
I never can. So I know how you feel.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. It's a logical fallacy, and I loved watching it during the Obama administration, and then during the Trump administration, and now we haven't really gotten to see it this way as much during the Biden administration yet, but just the constant use of executive power created by the other party, and then people crying about executive overreach. It's like, you did this. Like, you are the reason that this is a thing. And it was especially great with Trump, because Trump did very little above and beyond what Obama did. Like, he didn't do much that Obama didn't set the precedent for, including like stacking the courts. That's what so many people are pissed about, is how many judges he appointed. Obama started that like very, very late in his presidency, and then Trump used it for 4 fucking years. So yeah, he did it better. But Obama started that shit. Same with the kids in cages. Same with literally every other thing that Trump did that everyone hated.
Dude, the filibuster is so hilarious to see the Democrats wanting to destroy right now, because I forget who it was. I think it was maybe Joe Biden who said, like, well, I've seen all the abuses the filibuster's been used for the last 4 years. Every single time it was used by the Democrats in the last 4 years. You know, it's just, I mean, the irony is insane.
Like, yeah, the Republicans literally didn't filibuster at all during Trump's presidency in the Senate.
No, because they had the majority the whole time.
Right.
It's just
it's the dumbest thing ever.
I think Biden's still butthurt about the gun control fights of was that 13? And that's what he's pissed about still, after they filibustered all the post Sandy Hook gun control. That's what he's mad about. If you go back and you look at the press conference when the bill dies, Biden, because he was in charge of Obama's anti-gun task force. Right. You go and you look back at the video of Biden and standing behind Obama in that press conference out on I think it's in the Rose Garden. He just has this look of pure
malice.
He's just so pissed, and it's just like,
so Biden as the president of the Senate with a majority was not able to pass gun control. However, Kamala Harris might actually get to vote on it to break the tie and pass it.
Yeah, so I was telling Dave this on his show last night that I was wrong. I did not think Biden was actually going to go hard after guns. I mean, and it's not because he hasn't been horrible in the past or something, but I just didn't think that was going to be a priority. I was wrong. Like, it seems like it's a priority, and it goes to show what bullshit this whole unity thing is that he's been pushing. Because you want to talk about like the most divisive issue you could ever attack right now, it's guns. Like, that is something that divides the country like crazy, and he seems to be going for it.
Oh, the only other thing he could be doing right now would be like third trimester abortions or something. It's like the only worse idea.
I feel like even that is less pervasive. Like, there is a certain group of people that would piss off more, but in general, like throughout the whole country, the gun thing is like so divisive.
It's fair.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of naggers around that make gun control really.
Before I get removed from YouTube,
oh God,
then well, we're on my show, not yours, David.
Oh man,
explain the acronym.
The National Association for Gun Rights.
All right,
NAGR. Sometimes
you guys did it. Like, that's not on me. That's on you.
Well, here's the thing. Here in Indiana, we had a guy he's still bitching at us about stuff. He's a pro-gun guy, but he's for the shitty bill. But it's besides the point. He kept calling us a bunch of whiners, and everyone's like, he's really missing an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say it again, even though that's not the route David's route's completely different. Where everyone's mind's going to go is completely different than what we mean.
It's partially South Park's fault, though. I mean, it's not all of our fault.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this story. I was at the Indianapolis 1500 gun show at the end of February, and I'm working a table, and we have T-shirts out that, NAGR acronyms on. And this rather large black man comes up to the table, pauses, points at the shirt, looks at me rather angrily, and goes, "What's that say?" I was, "Oh, NAGR." We had a big thing of like Rand Paul likes to, and I was like National Association for Gun Rights. He's just like, "All right, cool," and just turns and walks away. And I was like, I was at our headquarters in Colorado like a few days later. I was like, guys, we got to change this, man. I'm not working another table. I'm not doing it. That was one of the scariest moments of my life. At a gun show, like I should be so safe, but I was just like, I'm gonna get my ass beat because of my organization's name. Not even the name, the acronym.
Yeah. No, there are some unfortunate acronyms that exist out there. That's for sure. People definitely didn't think the name through sometimes.
Mhm.
But
I think someone said we should just be National Gun Rights, and everyone's like, no, I think the acronym would be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's just completely filling in whatever you want. So
Mhm. I mean, I still think it should be Institute, but you know.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna change the subject now.
Go for it.
Well, this is worse than World War I history. We're getting way off track here.
you have some new
I mean,
viewers
it's better than
what
World War II
talking
history.
about?
So, the obvious first resistance to the vaccine passport is speaking out against it. But if it starts to go through anyway, I mean, we were talking about it earlier. I just won't get the vaccine anymore. I mean, I'm not going. At this point, it's already past the point that I would get it. I'm not going to get it at all, just because of how coercive they're acting. But what do we do like once it actually gets instituted to resist, other than just not getting the vaccine?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it that much.
Hack the app that they're using.
How do we do that?
You burn everything to the ground
Yeah.
and watch it smolder. No, I have no idea how you would even go about fighting that. I think in red states there'll be a big enough fight against it.
Yeah, I think you just leave. Like, I'm out of here. If that's a real thing in New York, I'm done. I'm out. Like, see ya.
Like, I mean, DeSantis basically said no. Oklahoma, I think their House passed the House passed that bill that they can say anything that comes from the feds they can rule unconstitutional. They'll just do that. Like, states are going to fight it. So I'm not too worried about it. I think truthfully, I think it's kind of a distraction from the migrant situation too. I think they saw an opportunity to bring up something that was going to piss people off because the migrant situation is getting so bad. Like, I tweeted a video today from a video, like a news channel up in Washington, where a foster home basically kicked a bunch of kids out because they wanted to. They're going to get migrant children instead because the feds are going to give them money. So they basically kicked a bunch of kids out on the street and said, "Hey, good luck. We're gonna get some migrant kids because the old Uncle Joe is gonna pay us money for it."
Yeah.
And I think that they realize one. I don't think they didn't realize. I don't think Joe Biden thought he was going to win. So I think they had all those help us, let us in, Joe people at the border, and I think the Democrats were like, "Fuck." Oh shit!
They were like, this was the perfect thing to have Trump again with. Yeah.
Like they were like, it was already in motion. And then
let's talk about the fact that we've got record number of kids in cages at the border under Biden.
Let's also it's
they're not cages, okay? They're just migrant overflow
facilities.
Dude,
fucking
what is
bullshit,
guys? If you had been told, you remember like 3 years ago when AOC was at the fence, like screaming through the fence about how horrible it was or whatever.
You mean when she was looking at literally nothing? She's looking at a parking lot? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine someone 3 years ago telling you, oh, just wait. 3 years from now, Ted Cruz is going to be going into the cages complaining about the conditions there, and then some woman who works for Biden is going to block him and say...
Well, I'm pretty sure is Latino.
Yeah.
She looked Latino.
It was
blows
so
my mind.
It was so backwards. It's like, what's going on here? Ted Cruz suddenly cares about this, first of all, and he's in there like I was just like, what is this? Like 2021, everything is backwards. Like nothing fucking makes sense anymore.
Yeah. It's like on big political argument days on Twitter, especially in Liberty Twitter, it takes a lot for me just to tweet, not to tweet. I just fucking hate all of you. You all are just so dumb. Everyone's switched now. The Republicans are acting all goofy. The Democrats are getting their hobnail boots on to go goose stepping all over people half the time. It's just, I hate it here.
Yeah, dude.
I'm with you.
Kind of bringing it back to the original subject, like what's with the left who was so skeptical of big pharma? Like that was their big thing. Big pharma sucks. Big pharma is evil. Big pharma is the worst thing that's ever existed in the history of the world. Now it's like, trust big pharma. If you're questioning anything about this vaccine, you're a fascist. It's just like,
well, you know who actually was trying to do some stuff to fuck up big pharma? With Donald fucking Trump.
Yep.
And I don't mean with COVID. I mean like actual legislation throughout his entire presidency and executive orders where he was actually trying to fix our healthcare system and fuck up big pharma and do something for the little guy. And one of the first things Biden did when he got into office was undo a whole bunch of those executive orders.
Yep. It's true.
Trump was trying to protect the fucking Affordable Cares Act, basically. He was trying to make it actually work.
I think if Trump would have won, the vaccine debate would be completely different. It would be all the Republicans going, all the MAGA people would be like, gotta get your vaccine. Trump told us to do it.
Yeah, I remember.
Because Trump would be telling people to do it, 100%.
Yeah. He would have gotten it live fucking TV. Or he'd probably still have his Twitter. So he would have live tweeted getting the vaccine. That would have been actually pretty interesting to see. I would have actually paid to read those tweets of getting the vaccine. It's very great. Operation Warp Speed made this possible. Types out ow, and then goes, just got the shot. It's great. Make sure you get yours. And you'd have a bunch of blue checks in the comments going, you destroyed this country with your fascist vaccine. Like, what the fuck are you people talking about?
Yeah, no, it's... I mean, Kamala Harris sort of even said that in one of the debates. Remember she said, like, I will get the vaccine unless Trump tells us to get it or something like that. I forget what it was. It was in one of the presidential debates.
Was it in between her telling the vice president she was speaking?
Probably.
Did you see that mural they painted in D.C. of her that says, I'm speaking?
Yes,
No.
yeah, it's great.
So I'm going to revert to my previous statement. I hate it here. But, yeah, this whole COVID thing is just so weird. I hate the two-party system so much more and more each day. Just because...
Y'all want to go to Mexico with me?
No. It's even worse. I think you could pull off it in Mexico. I am Piche Gringo over here. And be like, what's this white boy doing here? But my beard is fucking red, for Christ's sake. They're gonna be like, this fucking guy.
Yeah, David sort of has the Mexican mustache thing going there. He could pull it off. So.
You just walk across the border and go, orale, you're basically in, bro. I go there and I'm like, you guys want to get some tacos?
Tacos. I think you unironically say tacos.
No, my mom does, though, without realizing it. I make fun of her for it all the time. But I roll my R's and stuff. I grew up in the Houston area. I spent my years there. I know a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But still,
so I actually found out literally yesterday we had this conversation. I found out yesterday my dad had never heard of tacos and never had a taco until 6th grade.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say until yesterday.
Yeah, I was like, really, like, what?
Because they had a foreign exchange student make them dinner once, and she made tacos in 6th grade. That was the first time he ever heard of tacos, and then like didn't have them again for like a decade.
Wait, Will, have you ever lived in the Northeast or just in like the Midwest and South?
Pretty much exclusively like the Plains corridor, and then I was in Indiana for 14 months when I was a kid.
So, do you know what sugar on snow is?
Nope.
Yeah, you know what it is, right, David, or no? Yeah. So my cousin from Arizona, we flew down. I've been all over the country many times. I've been to Arizona a lot, and I think he was up in New Hampshire, and my sister didn't know what a tamale was, and he was like, "How do you not know what a tamale is? How can you be 17 and not know what one is?" And I said, "Well, Brandon, do you know what sugar on snow is?" And he was like, "No," but it's just a locational thing. Up in New England, you boil maple syrup like past its syrup point, get it super hot, and you pack snow down into like an ice pack, and then you pour it on it, and it turns into like taffy. But I don't know, like people aren't going to know that who aren't from the Northeast. So my sister didn't know.
Yeah, I've seen more snow in my life this winter in Indiana than I've seen in my entire life. So yeah, I think I went through about 6 winters without seeing snow when I was in Oklahoma. I lived there for 10 years. So
yeah,
I always come home for Christmas, so I always see snow.
There's snow here in Wyoming. It's nice and cold too. So
nice.
But yeah.
Well, to close out, do you guys want to talk about the Kentucky Libertarian tweet?
Yeah. So I actually didn't really have an issue with it. I actually retweeted it. So like a lot of people I'm in group chats where a lot of people are angry about it, and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, it was edgy, sure, and it was probably it was an overreaction, I guess, like it's overstatement, but I don't know. Like I thought I like the edgy tweets when the government's doing something shitty, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I retweeted it, and Justin O'Donnell had a great tweet. He's like, "Don't want to be compared to Nazis? Don't do Nazi shit." So I kind of liked that one.
That was my favorite take on the entire situation. I retweeted that.
Yeah, I retweeted.
I thought it was so interesting. I think a lot of people overreacted.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was edgy and it had a little bit of cringiness to it, the way it was worded. Right. I think it was intended to make you pearl clutch. It was intended to do that. But the fact that like you had people like Seth Rogen under there spurging out and Charlotte Clymer spurging out, like it's, and I've seen people that like, I think it was Joshua Eckel from Tennessee. He put it on Facebook. And he was the former chair. He might still be the chair of Tennessee LP, whatever. Said that one tweet took all the wind out of the sails of what the Libertarian Party's done over, like he said, like maybe the last 20 years, 10 years. I was like,
what have we done?
Well, yeah, one, what have we done? But two, what the fuck are you talking about? That tweet will be forgotten by next week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is
not by the end of the week.
Shit. This is the same shit that the fucking Mises morons did with Joe Jorgensen's BLM tweet. It's the same fucking bullshit of making a tweet that really didn't mean much and should have just been some edgy bullshit, making it something, putting it on a pedestal, sharing it around, retweeting it, quote tweeting it, DMing people about it, liking it or unliking it or whatever, liking all the shitty replies to it, making it go fucking trending. Like, why? Why are you doing this? Like, it's the exact same dumbassery as what happened during the presidential race, and it pisses me off because that's all it is. It's promoting the edgy bullshit that if you didn't want that to be promoted, why would you screenshot it and share it on Facebook? Josh Eckel.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it is a great comparison too. I mean, I think there was more than just the one tweet from Joe Jorgensen or whatever that made
there was
people,
like 5 or 6 that people are like really upset about.
Right. I think it was some other messaging things too, and like, but that aside, I do agree with you. Like, tweet for tweet, it's the same fucking thing. Like, the outrage. Like, when Joe Jorgensen tweeted that, I did not retweet it because I thought it was a dumb tweet. But the amount of,
I think I did actually.
Retweeted it, or
I think I retweeted it because I agreed with it. I was like, yeah, we should be anti-racist. That's cool. I'm okay. Like, I just passively retweeted it.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of how I did this tweet. It wasn't like a hell yeah. I was just kind of like, sure, and I retweeted it. So I don't know.
The pearl clutching is just so ridiculous on both sides of the LP. I was one of the people who pearl clutched at the CRT Jorgensen stuff. I mean, as she did it more and more, I just stopped giving a shit. But it was just like that first one. That's when CRT was like really a big deal, when it was in the news. So like, it made sense for me to care about that. But as I've gotten now, I mean, I was fired up.
I didn't realize that it was a reference to anything. That was my biggest confusion with that. Is everyone got so pissed because of the CRT thing, and I didn't know that for like 2 months. It was before
if you don't know, it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, she said let's be anti-racist, whatever.
Right. And the worst part is no one explained that shit to me. Like, again, it took 2 months for me to have a legitimate conversation with someone on the right side of the Libertarian Party about why they were mad at her for that tweet. Because all I got was, she's a Marxist, because BLM. And I'm like,
see, that's part of the problem on both sides. It's when they just get angry. They don't want to sit down and actually explain what it is. Like, I even remember I tried and I couldn't explain, because I couldn't reach through to people anyway, because most people who were counter angry at people being angry didn't want to hear the reason people were angry. Everyone just wants to be angry. So it's just like, once you hit that precipice of anger, it's like, what's the matter? So, but it's like, you weren't going to explain to anyone who did not like what Kentucky said that it was actually okay. Everyone was yelling into the void today. That's really what it was. It was, everyone state your opinion, argue if you want, let the blue checks and the randos that want to come fight the fight against us do it. Well, probably some of us will band together even though we don't agree, because this is how we all fucking work. We always jump in on dogpile outsiders, but we're going to fight each other to the death. And then when someone we don't like comes in, we're going to all say, fuck that guy. I think I saw more libertarians that I know don't get along clown on Seth Rogen today than I've ever seen in a fight. Like,
so I actually really want to bring something up about this one, because I can gladly say that I didn't even see the tweet that we're talking about. I didn't see Seth Rogen's tweet. I didn't see any of this. I saw a little bit of what went into some of the group chats, but there was so much in most of the group chats that I ended up just like scrolling to the bottom, because what I was doing today while this was happening, I was in a meeting for a mayoral campaign. Then I was in basically a meeting to plan a meeting, like to plan talking points for a pitch meeting with the executive director of a PAC, as well as a state representative from Oregon. And then I was working on finishing filing for an LLC. Like, that's what I was doing while everybody else was shitting on each other on Twitter. So, we could be like doing things, or we could be on Twitter.
So
Right.
yeah, I mean, I was writing copy all day, so I feel you. I was just like, I'd take a look, but what it said was, this is what the Libertarian Party of Kentucky said: are the vaccine passports going to be yellow, shaped like a star, and sewn onto our clothes? Which
Yeah,
is
so,
pretty
I mean,
fucking edgy. Like,
it's edgy, but it's also kind of funny. It's also hyperbolic. Like, it's,
I straight
I
up
don't
have zero problem with that. What the fuck?
I don't know.
So
like,
they've had some really shitty takes in the last couple of weeks. Like, they've had a lot worse takes. Like, they were going after, like, some fucking 15-year-old kid the other day. Like, they've had worse times on Twitter. Like, why is this the thing that went viral?
but I mean, you have people like David Weissman under it going, as a Jew, I find this tweet disgusting, insulting to the Holocaust survivors. And then you have people like Freckled Liberty, who's also Jewish, go, well, as a Jew, I think it's spot on. And like, oh, well, we got a Jew fight on our hands now. Everyone back up. No one touch this one. Everyone stop what you're doing and walk away.
Oh man, this is a racially insensitive conversation we've had today.
But then you have Seth Rogen to say, he said, fuck right off with this shit.
Yeah.
And then Liberty Lockdown, he got him pretty good. He got him to respond. He said, debate me and I will ruin your career with zero prep. And Seth Rogen responded with, haha, you seem so cool. And then he responded again. I gotta find
So
where it
about,
was.
like, what's better, hamburgers or hot dogs?
Go now, debate me. But then, like, I see how people are like, "What side are you on, bro? Are you just outraged?"
I just retweeted it, and I don't think I commented on it at all. Like, and I was one of the early retweets, so maybe this is a lot my fault because not too many people follow that account. Like, I was one of the, I don't know how early, but it was showing up on my news feed as it was tweeted, and I was like, ha, 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 and retweeted.
They're
it.
one of the accounts that follows me that I don't follow. I found that out today.
I followed them today. Like, I noticed that too. But I mean, like, Dave's, like, everyone in the Mises caucus follows me, so I don't know if it's my fault for retweeting it early on. Like, it could go back to me.
Yeah, like I missed the tweet my whole day. Like I jumped in today and I was just like, oh, where are we fighting, boys? Like, let's go. I got in a huge fight. I just
Super good times. Super good times.
Oh, I am.
I think StopAntisemitism.org even jumped on at one point. I was just like, oh shit.
Oh man.
Where's anti-Semitism cow when you need him? The guy retired, so there's no anti-Semitism cow anymore. But did you guys ever know what that account was?
Mm-hmm.
People would submit anti-Semitic tweets to it, and they would just quote tweet with "moo." I would have loved to have seen that for the Kentucky LP, but he quit in January because he said that Jack doesn't take anti-Semitism seriously. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, interesting conversation, fellas.
We're closing on
interesting.
anti-Semitism. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Such a good time.
We talked about World War I history, unfortunate acronyms. We went all over the place, as usual. It was a wild ride. But yeah. Well, so the takeaway is all three of us are vehemently against a vaccine passport, whether or not it's a yellow star sewn onto your shirt or not.
I think the fact that we all agreed kind of just ruined any momentum we would have had to just like make it like an actual discussion. It was just like, yeah,
I should have just like gone. I should have just
when we
wrecked
agree.
my entire like libertarian career, especially since it looks like there's people in the comments who already don't understand me. That I should have just like played devil's advocate and been like, "There's nothing wrong with a vaccine passport," and just like gone that way the whole time.
Yeah.
So are you guys? I'm sure you're aware of Yal's thing in Florida this year. Are you guys thinking about going?
I'm actually not.
No.
Well, this is gonna be my first. I'm gonna go. So
Wow.
yeah.
Oh wait, do you mean the convention Revolution?
Yeah.
Yes, I have signed up for that actually already.
Okay.
I forgot where it was.
I have a buddy that told me there are already 550 plus applicants.
Literally everyone is going to be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Are you guys going to Pork Fest or Freedom Fest? I'm going to definitely Freedom Fest, probably Pork Fest. So
what is Pork Fest? That sounds like two wildly possible things.
Pork.
I mean, knowing how libertarians are, man, like, I don't know. I'm not going to kink shame people.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this conversation. Yeah, it's it's like a Liberty cookout for 5 days, right? Basically, or
well,
7 days.
it's
Okay.
That was one of the two wild possibilities, right?
Yeah,
Pork Fest
it's not a weird
is
libertarian
literally
orgy or
just
anything.
pork. Pork is for porcupine, not like the pig. Like it's PORC. Like Porcupine Fest, because it's a
God, am I projecting a little bit?
fuck. What's the organization? Free State Project. It's a Free State Project thing.
Isn't it combined with like a cookout though to help with the pun?
I mean, I think that there is. You know what? I'm right here. Let's find out. Pork Fest, the Porcupine Freedom Festival in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The 18th annual is from June 21st to the 27th of 2021. And it is. I mean, it's a big fucking festival. There are talks and panels, family-friendly area parties. There are, let's see, who are the featured guest speakers? Gene Epstein, Tom Woods, Scott Horton, Angela McArdle, a Kaufman-McArdle debate. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Jordan Page, Spike Cohen, Jeffrey Tucker, John Vallis. It's going to be a good time. But also, Revolution is going to be also a good time. So... But I'm not finding the speaker list, so I'm upset about that.
I know there's a big thing in South Dakota coming up.
Yeah, that's Freedom Fest.
Freedom Fest.
I've already bought my tickets for that. So
I have not.
I think I'm gonna push that NAGR has a table there. I think that'd be kind of a good opportunity for us to be there. But a lot of good speakers. I mean, I think Dave's going to be there, isn't he?
He is. Dave,
Yes.
Justin Amash is going to be there.
Jorgensen's going to be there.
Jorgensen's going to be there. Ion Hersey Ali is going to be there, which is interesting. I've got a love-hate relationship with her. I'm like in lockstep with her on religion, but then you start talking about how to modernize the world and she completely loses me. Like, the way to reform fundamentalist Muslims is not by bombing them. Like, that's a good way to make them more nuts, in my opinion. So,
what? You don't think bombing the freedom into them is a way to make them a peaceful, loving people?
Actually, I heard Scott Horton is trying to set up a debate with her, which would be insane. That'd be awesome. But yeah, we'll cut it short right there.
I'm pulling the speakers up.
Oh, he's pulling the speakers up.
I'm trying, and it's not.
You're getting beaten by Will.
Their website is not doing me any favors right now. Fuck you, Yao. Your website sucks.
Oh, you're looking at Yao's website? They haven't announced any speakers for that yet.
Oh, they haven't?
No, not for yet. Not for Revolution.
Oh, damn. Oh, are you looking for the Freedom Fest speakers?
Yeah. I think I have a picture.
Keynote are John Mackey, Drew Pinsky, Dave Rubin, Larry Elder, J.B. Spears, Christy Nome, Joe Jorgensen, Justin Bush, Tom Woods, and then Aaron Hershey is going to be there.
Wait,
Christy is the most one to me.
Wait. Christy Nome?
Dude, it's
Christy Nome's a keynote speaker. It's her state.
That's worse than John Bolton being at Mobilize 2020 for Yao. Jesus fucking Christ. Christy Nome Miss Let's Fight already legalized marijuana?
Yeah, but
Fuck
dude, think about
Why is
it.
Drew Pinsky gonna be there?
We're at Mount Rushmore, like land stolen from the natives through imperialism, with the faces of tyrants etched into a cliff. Like that's what you're.
Fest.
It's not. It's called Freedom Fest, but it's kind of shaky. It's a little bit shaky.
We got to get Dave Smith when he's there to do some speech about how ironic everything is about like Mount Rushmore and Freedom Fest and Christie. Like he could do an edgelord speech. It would be legendary. But
I'd love to see Justin Amash do an edgelord speech.
ooh, that would be
Actually, you know who's gonna do an edgelord speech though? JP Sears. That's who we can count on to do what we want.
Hannah Cox is gonna be there.
Is she?
Ooh.
Yeah.
She's coming on my show tomorrow.
Dope. Dopey dope.
Damn.
All right, anyway, we're gonna
Hannah
pull the
Cox.
video there. So if you guys have anything you want to say before we close, David, anything?
Join your fucking local LP and do some shit and get off Twitter.
Well-
I'm gonna say the similar stuff that he just said. No, I got to point that way. He said I'm gonna back off of that, but also join the Libertarian Rhodesia Caucus, bro. Join it. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight the communists, bro. It's gonna be dope. All right. I want a dude. I want a dude, bro. Caucus. That's all I want. And we're gonna call it the Rhodesia Caucus. We're all gonna wear brushstroke, and we're just gonna wear short shorts, and we're gonna buy FALs, and we're just gonna hang out. We're gonna be like if the Boog Boys were actually about that action, but we just want to drink Busch Light and hang out. So
I'm with it. I'm hardcore with it. Let's do it.
there you go.
All right, guys. Check in tomorrow night at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be on with Hannah Cox. And then I think 10 o'clock Eastern Time Thursday night with Carrie Wedler. I'll catch you later.